Hello friends, once again welcome to Aifer Education. Happy learning. We are discussing Indian logic. We have discussed Pramanas, Anumana in detail. So now we are moving to the last part of the Indian logic, that is Vyapti and Hetvabhasa. Okay, so we are moving to the last part, Vyapti and Hetvabhasa. So we have firstly Vyapti. So Vyapti implies a correlation between two facts, which is Vyapa and Vyapaga. Or basically Vyapti is a relationship between the two things which will be there in a particular assumption. For example, the relationship between smoke and fire is what we call as Vyapti. Okay. Then when it comes to Vyapti, there are two types of Vyapti. Okay. We have two types of Vyapti. Those are Samavyapti and Asamavyapti. Okay. We have two types of Vyapti. We have Samavyapti and Asamavyapti. Okay. We have Samavyapti and Asamavyapti. So Samavyapti happens, Samavyapti happens when there is a Vyapti between terms of equal extension. Okay, when there is a Vyapti between terms of equal extension, we have Samavyapti. For example, equal extension between we have sun and day. It's something like a reversible relationship. Okay, what we call sun and day. So which means if there is sun, we can infer it's day. If it's day, we can infer there is sun. So this is an equal extension. From x, you can infer y, and from y, you can infer x. Such a relationship is known as Samavyapti. Then moving to the Asamavyapti, the relationship will be only one-sided, not equal extension or unequal extension. So we have the relationship between fire and smoke. So from smoke, we can infer there will be fire. Okay, from smoke we can infer there will be fire, but from fire we can't infer there will be smoke always. Okay, so from smoke we can infer there is fire, and from fire we can't infer there is smoke always. Okay, we can't infer there is smoke always. Okay, smoke always. That is what we have Asamavyapti is all about. Okay, that is what we have Asamavyapti is all about. So this is Vyapti, the relationship between the two terms. Okay, we have Samavyapti and Asamavyapti. Samavyapti is when we have relationship to both sides, sun and day. Asamavyapti, we have only relationship of unequal extension. There's a relationship between fire and smoke. Moving to the last one, the Hetvabhasa. Okay, Hetvabhasa is what we call the fallacies of inference. Okay, Hetvabhasa is what we have the fallacies of inference. So we have already studied some set of fallacies. Okay, that's the Western logic fallacies, the formal fallacy, the informal fallacy. But similarly, Hetvabhasa is fallacies or errors of reasoning in Indian logic. So basically, we have 5 different types of fallacies in Indian logic, which is known as Hetvabhasa. So we have Savyabhichara, which is also known as fallacy of, we want to study the English term also, fallacy of Savyabhichara, or we have Savyabhichara or fallacy of irregular middle. Then we have Viruddha or fallacy of contradictory middle. Okay, we have Viruddha or fallacy of contradictory middle. Then we have Satpradibhaga or fallacy of inferentially contradictory middle. Inferentially contradicted middle. Then we have Asiddha or fallacy of unproved middle. And finally, we have Badhita or fallacy of non-inferentially contradictory middle. Okay, Badhita or fallacy of Okay. Badhida or fallacy of, okay, we have Badhida or fallacy of non-inferentially contradictory middle. Okay, Badhida or fallacy of non-inferentially contradictory middle. So we have Savyabhijara, Viruddha, Sadpratibhaga, Asiddha and Badhida. Okay, Asiddha and Badhida. So we have Savyabhijara. Okay, Savyabhijara where we have fallacy of irregular middle. We'll be studying, okay, each in detail. Savyabhijara or fallacy of irregular middle, Viruddha or fallacy of contradictory middle, Sadpratibha or fallacy of inferentially contradictory middle, Asiddha or fallacy of unproved middle, or Badhida or fallacy of non-inferentially contradictory middle. So let's try to learn each of them. So first one we have Savyabhijara, which is also known as Anaikhantika or the fallacy of irregular middle. Okay, so we have, okay, firstly we have, okay, Savyabhijara, okay, firstly we have Savyabhijara or Anaikhantika, okay, which is also known as fallacy of irregular middle. Here we have, when the middle term is not uniformly related, that's what we have, fallacy of irregular middle. But what we have to study in detail is there are three types of Savyabhijara or fallacy of irregular middle. Okay, there are, we have Sadharana, Asadharana and Anupasamhari. Okay, so we have three types of Savyabhijara. Okay, so we have three types of Savyabhijara or Anaikhantika. So they are Sadharana, Asadharana and Anupasamhari. Okay, so we have Sadharana, Asadharana or Anupasamhari is what we can say three types of Savyabhijara. So Sadharana happens when the middle term is too wide in nature. Okay, there is a lot of explanation given in the board. Just listen to this single sentence and the example, that's enough for the time being. When the middle term is too wide in nature, that's Sadharana. For the exam, it's enough. So an example I will give. So present in both positive and negative, it's not required. So we have example, the hill has fire because it is knowable. So what do you mean by middle term is too wide in nature? Middle term is too wide in nature means this is knowable. Knowable is something too wide. There is a lot of thing that's knowable. Okay, listen. So we have here middle term is too wide in nature. Okay, we have middle term is too wide in nature, which means, okay, too wide in nature. So we have knowable. Knowable is something that's too wide. You will be more clear when I give an example of too narrow also. So we have Asadharana. Asadharana happens, okay, we have Asadharana happen, okay, Asadharana happen when the middle term is too narrow in nature. Okay, Asadharana happens when the middle term is too narrow in nature. Okay, when the middle term is too narrow in nature. So we have examples here. Sound is eternal because it is audible. Okay, we have sound is eternal because audible is a too narrow term. Too narrow term means you can see audible only associated with sound. Okay, you can see audible only associated with sound. But when it comes to Sadharana, knowable, something you know, is associated with many things. So Sadharana is something when the middle term is too wide in nature. Example is knowable related. Asadharana is something when the middle term is too narrow in nature. Okay, we have here it as audible. Okay, we have here it as audible. Then yeah, after that moving to the next one. Okay, we have Anupasamhari, the third type of Savyabhijara. Okay, we have Anupasamhari. When it comes to Anupasamhari, it occurs when the middle term is non-exclusive. Okay, Anupasamhari occurs when the middle term is non-exclusive. Okay, which means it's not exclusive. So here all things are non-eternal because they are knowable. Okay, so we have the things, all things are non-eternal because they are knowable. So here we have an importance of non-eternal, which means it's a non-exclusive. So that's what is Anupasamhari is all about. Don't get confused the knowable with the first one. Here we have the hill has fire. Okay, here we have the hill has fire. It's not non-exclusive. Okay, it's not exclusive, and but here it's knowable. So based on this, we say it's Sadharana, too wide in nature. But when it goes to Anupasamhari, okay, when it goes to Anupasamhari, we have the middle term is non-exclusive here. The middle term is non-exclusive here. So we have an example of all things are non-eternal because they are knowable. Okay, we have all things are non-eternal because they are knowable. So this is the basic aspect of Savya Bijara or Anaighandiga, the classification, Sadharana, Asadharana and Anupasamhari. When it comes to Sadharana, middle term is too wide in nature. When it comes to Asadharana, middle term is narrow in nature. And when it comes to Anupasamhari, we have the middle term is non-exclusive. We have many more form of Hetvabhasa or fallacies to discuss, which we will be discussing in the upcoming videos. So as to make sure you receive all these videos, subscribe to Aifer Education YouTube channel and also press the bell icon. To join our Paper 1 online course, you can visit our website www.aifer.in or you can see the details in the description. That's it. Thank you.